What's going on? Welcome to the 411 podcast. I can't believe it, but we here. It's Monday, the 13th. Crazy. Time keeps on flowing. I'm just thankful to still be here. What's going on, my survivor voice? How you doing? So thankful to be here. We made it here. 411 podcast. Tonight, we have Misco in the building tonight. Hey, what's going on? How you doing out there? Miss Neek from Coral LLC. What's going on? So I'm gonna get right on into it. So, song of the day. I stumbled across this song I want to say maybe like 2 years ago. Yeah, maybe 2 years ago. When Christmas Comes, Mariah Carey, John Legend, released in 2011. So when you think of Mariah Carey and her actually making newer Christmas music, because you know her classic, she can just repeat that time and time and time again and really don't even have to put any work into it. So when I heard her and John Legend together, it was released in 2011, but I came across this maybe just like 2 years ago or something like that. I was like, oh, I actually like this. Nothing against Mariah Carey, but that first album, sometimes you just can't listen to it. It's bad enough, but that one song from her, maybe listen to it on Christmas Eve when it's here, when it's finally here. But to listen to that first Mariah Carey Christmas album, like to play it now, probably not. But it was refreshing to hear more of R&B, flow with John Legend. So when Christmas comes, Mariah Carey, John Legend, 2011. Anybody heard that song? It's very rare. I want to say what's up to everybody out there on Facebook, everyone out there on Twitter, YouTube, D Live, Twitch. If you are watching, I just want to say thank you. Drop it in the comments. Let me know where you are calling from, and I'm gonna just call you just out there on TikTok. Thank you for joining. Now, I want to give a very special shout out to Lisa Jakowski for coming in last night. She educated us on autism. So if you know anyone who has a child with autism or anyone who works or supports autism awareness, definitely have them go ahead and watch the replay from last night. It was definitely educational. I learned a lot of things, and I'm sure that that information can get out and help a couple people. Also, it's all in the cars with Kathy. Thank you so much for coming through. Jason T. Davis, all the way from Los Angeles, California. You keep supporting, and I appreciate you so much. Ratika Abbott, Lash Addict Society, thank you so much. My friend, Mr. Ian West, check him out on Instagram at Ian West Music. Sophie Davis, my friend from the UK, That's Sophie K. Davis. Bethany Sims, all the way from California. Thank you. Nate Perry, what's going on? K. Cole from Karma's Paradise. Silver Q from California. Gina Hassan. And of course, we got, oh, what's up, Bethany? I just gave you a shout out. We have Miss Neek from Coral LLC in a building tonight. Man, we just keep getting upgraded each and every night from the people who continue to show up, and I definitely do appreciate each and every one of y'all. What's going on, Miss Bethany? Now I'm going to ask you now, how is the weather out there in California? I know a couple other nights you said that it was a little cold. How's it now? I don't know if he's still out there. Check on that weather. We've been having some crazy weather all over the place. It's insane. Tornadoes, all kinds of crazy nonsense is going on. So now I have a question for y'all. Cold today. So what is cold in your world? I mean, it's been cold here, 40s, 50s. What's your cold like over there? So, I asked this question last night. So what is an appropriate age for children to have their own cell phone? So many people got different, opinions on that. I heard 5 years old. I even heard at one point 13. I think 13 is probably pressing it just a little bit too much, especially in this day and age when everyone has phones. But 5 years old, that might be the new. I hate to say it like that, but the new normal. They're going into school. They probably got a cell phone going straight into school, like into know kindergarten, first grade, short. So your child, your friend's child, your cousins, whoever. What? You said high school. What age is it appropriate for children to have their own cell phone? High school. I don't know about that. I know that their friends have it and everything, so that's the first part right there. If you say high school, they're gonna have to go through elementary school, they're gonna have to go through middle school without having a cell phone versus some of the other people. And you know how that is. Not that we want to go ahead and raise our children that way to go ahead and be like everybody else. Obviously, you want to try to teach them different, but I think that would be a little rough to try to make somebody in this day and age. I think we have to take ourselves out of it. Because even myself, I didn't get my first cell phone until I was like 16 years old. You can't do that to kids these days based on the way we have evolved. So it would be easy for me to say, oh no, not until they're 16, 17. But then what type of life and what would that bring up? What kind of upbringing would that be? um, I think it really is elementary school, middle school. And the only reason why I say elementary school is because all of the games and the educational things that are put on these phones, and there's certain blockers and certain things that you can put on the phone for, younger children. So you know that they're getting it in kindergarten, first, second. You know that those elementary kids probably got better cell phones than you and I put together, iPhones and everything else, probably the latest and greatest out there. And they probably know how to work it better than some of us do. So what age is appropriate to have children have their own cell phone? Let's see what Misco has to say about this. My daughter got hers in middle school. My son got his in high school. That's interesting. The two differences between middle and high school. Hello.
Hello,
Hey, hey, hey. How are you?
I am good.
That's good. Welcome to the 411 podcast. Welcome back, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on again.
Absolutely. So now I have a question for you right off the bat.
Okay.
What age is it appropriate for children to have their own cell phone? We had high school, we had middle school. What age do you think?
I would think the earliest would be middle school,
Mm.
and then it still also depends on the maturity of that child. What do
Now,
they need that phone for? Because there's a lot of responsibility and a lot that comes along with having a phone. They have access to so much.
um, so now let me back up. Now, do you have children?
I do not have kids.
Okay. Now, what age was it when you received your first cell phone?
I was 21.
I hear you. I see Will out there says, I didn't get my first cell phone until after I finished college. So,
Yeah, and I got it. I got it for myself.
right. But then, of
We
course,
did with the old-fashioned phones, and we needed to contact our parents for something. We either did it from the house phone or from the school phone.
hmm. Now, what happens when you send your kid to school and they're the only one without a cell phone?
Yeah, and that would be the likability with nowadays because they're giving us cell phones in elementary school.
That's what I'm saying. And it's only because it's educational purposes as well. And there are things in place and apps and, monitors that, the parents can download to monitor the activity and all kinds of things to where that's almost like a safety net. So before we would say, oh no, we're not going to give them a cell phone because of all of the things that are on there and what they can get into. But as we evolved and younger kids have it, they have to have some safety nets on there because they'd just be outright crazy. So,
Yeah, and like I said, it depends on the maturity of that child. Also, the parent wants to take into consideration how much are they going to actually monitor that phone and their child with it.
mhm, mhm.
Because a lot of days, a lot of the parents work multiple jobs, or they're not home as much,
You want to know?
so
Yeah,
they don't have that tight rein on kids like we used to.
you want to know why they're not as home at much and they work two and three jobs?
Why is that?
Because kids need cell phones in elementary school. we didn't have
Exactly.
we didn't
And
have that
not
back
cheap
in the day.
cell phones. These kids have iPhones and the latest iPhones in daycare and preschool and elementary, and they can't even say their name, but they know how to use the phone to go to different apps and use it.
That is so true. My survivor voice says, but kids are sneaky and can get access to what they want. Trust me, they find a way. Mm-mm-mm.
Very true.
Yeah, that
It
is
just
so
will make
true.
it a little bit more difficult if they don't even have the phone to begin with.
I
Because you
just,
can say, okay, I'm putting restrictions on it and this and that, but the kids have passwords. They know how to create certain backup pages and all this kind of stuff.
I just worry about them going to school being the only one without a cell phone. I don't think I could do that to my children. I don't
I
think
get
I'd
what you're saying, but it's
subject them to
like
that.
when kids went to school and they didn't have on Jordans, they had
Hmm.
on Bobos.
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
taught them that that was a part of life.
And now you know what? And it's so crazy that you say that. I know so many people who, because they had to go to school like that, they didn't want to. Of course, it is what it is. That was their reality. But because of that, you develop some issues. Well, let's be real. We cover a lot of things. For instance, I know someone
Right.
who had to go to school like that, and it was rough for them. But now they've developed some dependency on needing to have the latest and greatest. So they have no problem with buying any type of new sneaker that come out now and flash it in front of the camera on Facebook and show the whole closets. You ever see people that just show a whole bunch of sneakers and stuff like that?
Yes, very often they're trying to validate or justify who they are
Right.
by what they have.
And a lot of that comes from the lack of what they had when they were younger growing up. I mean, I've done it as well. Certain things that I didn't have. So then all of a sudden, when I get money, I damn near lose my mind and start to blow it and try to do it for show. But that's the damn it. So
That's true, but I think once again that also went off of the parenting skills because there were some people who lacked, but because of what their parents instilled in them and taught them, about hey, being fortunate, being blessed, and being less fortunate, and that's just a part of life. There are times you're going to have things, and it doesn't mean that you're less of a human being or less of a person. But they taught them how to value themselves and not value things.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then we have parents who buy their kids nothing but Jordans and all the name brand stuff, and then they value those things. They don't even value their parents. Mm-hmm. They don't care if their parents spend time with them as long as they get them those things.
That is true.
So it falls once again back for me on the parents. What are you teaching them? It's not about what it is that they have or they don't have. What are you teaching them?
I agree. I definitely do agree. I mean, because if your parenting skills were at a certain level, you'd be able to tell your child that, all right, it is what it is. No cell phone. But I'm going to give you these skills and I'm going to teach you how to thug it out and you'll be all right. But a lot of us pick the easy way out. Just go ahead and give you a cell phone. I just know what it's like, though, coming up. I know what it's like.
Go ahead and give you this cell phone.
I know what it's like coming up when, man, you gotta fight every single day in school. It's not man, that ain't no joke. But I understand. So yeah, we kicking this thing off right off. Misco.
That took me back to something I heard. Pink, the artist Pink.
Oh, I love her. Mm-hmm.
She was accepting an award. I think it was like some type of accomplishment award. I can't remember exactly what the award was. But if she got to accept the award, she said how her daughter said that she was the most ugliest kid she knew. Mm. And this is a celebrity. Mm. And she said, they say I look like a boy and I'm shaped like a boy. And so she says to her, well, Pink said to her daughter, people said the same things to me. She was like, do you think I'm ugly? She was like, no, mommy, you're beautiful. She was like, but people thought that I was ugly. People thought that I was too masculine. People thought that I was too strong looking, that I was shaped like a boy. People thought that I would never grow my hair and I would always keep it short and like a buzz cut like men. She was like, do you feel like mommy is ugly? And she's like, no, mommy, you're beautiful. She was like, but guess what? I've sold records. I've sold out arenas, but I didn't change who I was because what other people said about me did not validate or take away from who I had told myself I was. She was like, when you see me on stages accepting awards, and I'm accepting awards as me.
I do remember
I didn't conform to what, society's standard of beauty or looks or images were. I made my own.
Yeah, I do remember that. Now you got me intrigued. I'm sitting here like, do I ever remember Pink with long hair?
She's done it in a couple of videos to be joking.
I don't think I like it.
But she's never grown her hair out.
Yeah, no, she hasn't. I mean, that was not right for me to say I don't think I like it, but Pink has her own little way. But yeah, I think she looks good the way she normally was. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I see it. I think the baddest Pink was when she first came out, but I always keep saying that first album was out of control. But it is what it is. Thank y'all so much for coming in tonight here. Bethany says, my son is in high school and grown-ups made fun of him wearing $60 sneakers. What? Somebody has made fun of your child for wearing $60 sneakers? That's stupid. I never heard such a thing. Have you?
Yeah, because even with $60 sneakers, they not $200-something sneakers that, is these name brand sneakers that everybody's trying to make it seem like they have to have. So these sneakers do nothing for you.
I'm
other
just
than hurt your pocket.
I'm just at a loss that okay, so Vans they got a problem with Vans? I don't understand that.
It depends on the school because there's certain schools like Vans would fit in because
Hmm.
they wear like preppy clothes or they wear khakis and polos, so Vans would be cool. But
Hmm.
then if you looking at another school where they wear like hood attire or urban wear, Vans might not be that popular or acceptable. More people might be wearing Jordans or whatever the latest sneaker is, and Jordan is like one of those big sneakers
Oh,
that's still
yeah.
around
Yeah.
to
See.
this day, regardless of how many times they revamp and bring back the same shoe from years ago.
Hmm. That's what
The
she said.
price keeps going up.
She said that they said dude said tell your mom to get you some Jordans. So
See,
wow, that's crazy. Neek says this generation values materialism over love. Yeah, that's why we in for some rough
I
times.
agree, but unfortunately, I think a lot of the parents cause that dysfunction by instilling that in the kids because they felt the same way, and it has only gotten worse and worse in regards to what kids experience. Like the parents aren't even fully grown up and developed and mature themselves, and then they have kids.
Well, I think this is the problem that we're dealing with. I've said this before. The 80s were real rough. So we're dealing with some of the aftermath from that as well. So if you grew up in the 80s, you probably lacked a lot, depending on what situation you were in, whether it was, the materialistic things, whether it was a lot of the households, they lacked a lot of love as well. So then, of course, they reproduced, and now we're dealing with the aftermath of that. And that's what I think. I mean, what do you think?
I definitely can say I agree with that in certain aspects because a lot of the 80s babies, but if you look at the 80s babies, a lot of the 80s babies look younger than the 90s.
You said a lot of
But
it.
the 80s,
You
they
said,
look younger. Like the newer generations look so stressed out. Like, what have you been through? Like, you had a hard life. You would think they done did some time in prison or something because they look old and stressed and they want to look older. Like, even when we were younger and we wanted to look older, it was like we still look like kids. Even when we put on makeup, like our bodies and shapes didn't look like grown women.
oh, you know what? You are absolutely right. The scary thing about it is, I can't even imagine what it's going to be like 10 years from now. I can't even imagine what it's going to look like their kids. All of these people that are cutting up, knocking people over the head, shooting people for no good reason. What are their kids going to be like? Um, it's crazy, man. Will says, "I'm a
Well,
bro."
if they don't slow down with this generation, it won't be. I mean, it'll be some kids around, but it won't be nobody around to raise them
Mm.
because they killing each other. Like people in their 20s and 30s aren't getting old anymore, and that's crazy.
Mm.
When the
Yeah.
older person passes, like it's kind of expected. Like, oh, they lived a good life.
Mm-hmm.
They lived till they was 70. They lived till they was 80 and 90. These young kids, they brag about like, oh, I made it to 25
Mm-hmm.
and never see their 26th birthday.
Now, are you worried about the way you're going to be treated when you get older?
Mm.
Because I often worry about that too. Like, yo, this is going to be crazy. We're going to be like senior citizens packing guns and shit. Because, like, I mean, and it's not.
Well, I don't know because here's the funny thing with me. I can't express that because I'm 42 and I still get it to the day. Like people don't believe me that I'm 42 because I don't look my age. And people who are younger than me, I'm thinking they're the same age as me because I'm thinking like the way they look like they're in their 40s and they're in their 20s are just touching their 30s.
Wait a minute. So you trying to tell me that you've seen somebody who was in their 20s and they look like they're in their 40s?
Yes, I see it all the time. I literally get shocked sometimes when I'm on social media and someone posted that it was their birthday and I go to say happy birthday and they be like, oh yeah, celebrating my 25th birthday. And I'm like, I'm celebrating my 31st birthday. And I'm like, but you have a hair full of grays and wrinkles and lines and creases on your forehead. Like how, where, like what's going on in life that that's got you stressed that you like got gray hairs and wrinkles already? And you haven't even touched your 40s yet. And I'm like, I don't have any gray hairs and I don't have any wrinkles. And I'm just like, maybe you're not sleeping enough. Or I don't know what it is. They stress about relationships. But yeah, I see a lot of people, especially on social media, I get shocked with even from people that I know. I just assume that they were older. And then I come to find out that they're much younger. And I'm like, whoa, okay. And then I see that post, I look good for my age. I don't look such and such age. You're right, you don't look that age. You look older.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop. Oh,
you
my
look
goodness.
older.
Neek says, my husband is 43 and he doesn't look his age either. People 30s are losing their teeth. Get out of actually, you know what? That is, you said that before. I see a lot of people on social media with their mouth turned a certain way because their teeth are missing. That's disturbing. So I want to know, like, what is that from? Do you see that as well?
Sometimes it's drugs. Sometimes it's alcohol. Erosion from alcohol. They're not like the foods that they eat. Like food and drinks aren't like they used to be. A lot more things had a lot less chemicals in it. Now the stuff that they have in this food, you be wondering what's in it. Because these kids is like severely obese.
You don't see it on Instagram. I will tell you that people, at least from what I have come across, people look the part on Instagram, and I will tell you that people are it's a little interesting on TikTok. You can get a little bit of both. I'm not trying to throw shade on anybody on Facebook at all, because I mean I've seen some mess on TikTok, like what? But and I am not trying to throw no shade on anybody, but I see a lot of the missing teeth and the reality checks on Facebook. And my kids told me that Facebook is kind of for the older people, so I guess that would make sense, right?
Well, then good, because I don't feel some type of way. I'm more on Instagram.
Oh my goodness. So let me look at a couple of these here. So I reversed my looks by getting healthy. That is so true. You look absolutely amazing. Neek from Coral LLC. And then Bethany says meth or crack is what does it for the teeth. And
okay.
And this is actually, Neek has a good point. I ate a piece of fruit and chipped my tooth. So that could be reality, like you are just eating in general and you chip your tooth or you lose a tooth. I think that's one of my fears. Like, I don't know what I would do. I mean, I'm glad they got masks now because I damn sure will be masking up until I get it fixed. I often thought about that too.
I can understand that because I had work done in my mouth with my teeth, and I've had a tooth removed, but it's on the side, it's never at the front. So I get it. Like a lot of these kids, like even some of the celebrities, when I see them go and they get the veneers so young, I'm like, they're not even giving they real teeth a chance because like they file their real teeth down.
Wait a minute.
And then they also
say that again. They file them all the way down?
Well, they file them down so that way the veneers don't look too buck, and some people don't get theirs filed enough so the veneers look buck, and it makes their lips like stick out, or it makes them look like they have buck teeth because now the veneers are bigger because they place the veneers over top of their teeth.
Oh, I got you. That's a lot. That's a lot. Mm-mm-mm. Well, man, we just went
So
into.
you either see one extreme or another. You either see that they have really bad teeth to be so young, or you see that they have veneers to be so young.
What about ladies that get these lip jobs done where they injecting stuff in their lips and they look like Donald Duck? How do you feel about that?
It's so many people I don't even recognize anymore. It's not even just like celebrities. Before it used to be like celebrities that would go get collagen and lip injections and all of these cosmetic surgeries. Now it's like the everyday neighbor next door. Everybody is like looking so tight and their lips are so full and so plucked and they got their nose done, they got their cheekbones done, they got their eyelids did, and it's just like
You said eyelids. What is eyelids?
yes, like they lift the eyelid so it doesn't look like it's saggy or baggy at the top, and they could also do it at the bottom for like under eye bag. And then they get the collagen injections in their forehead to get rid of the lines, and it's a lot. And I just be like, okay, if you took a little bit better care of your skin, your body, and care more about your health, you would put a little bit more time and energy into that and make it a lifestyle versus something that you're putting into your body that are chemicals and toxins that are temporary fixes, but they're only fixing the outside.
Can you imagine what it's going to look like 20 years from now?
I can. It's going to be a lot of people going and getting repeated cosmetic surgery because after 10 years, you have to get tweaks and almost like a tune-up to those surgeries that they have.
Oh, I didn't know that.
For their boobs because they start to sag and they can start to leak and these fat transfers, the fat can dissolve in certain areas that it's not normally supposed to be.
I'm running out of time then. I think I got one more year left and I got to go get a tune-up. Oh, man. I didn't know that.
Nobody wants to go to the gym. People only want to take photos at the gym after they've had surgery. They only want to give advice about losing weight after they've had surgery. They want to advise everybody on eating healthy and getting in shape after they went and had procedures done. They don't want to put in the work for anything.
Well, we got Misco in the building tonight. Let us know where you're calling from. We didn't get into that.
I am currently all the way down in Miami, Florida, all the way at the bottom of the map.
Okay. So now, do you speak Spanish?
Not fluently. That is a big issue with being in Miami because even the simplest jobs, they ask for you to be bilingual, and it's not just that they ask you to be bilingual, but they actually test you if you're bilingual in regards to you have to take tests to prove that you know you can read, you can write, and you can speak Spanish fluently, but you are never tested on if you can read or write and speak English.
I wonder why we would do something like that.
And I think that was set up actually to like slowly kind of weed out what will be the culture and what's the society that you'll be looking at in the future in Miami. Because before, they actually tried to place it on the ballot to have Spanish as the first language in Miami. And it didn't pass. So I do expect that they'll probably be bringing it back and trying to get it back on the ballot some years down the line to get Spanish passed as the first language in Miami. But that's all you hear. Everyone will walk around telling you, like, oh, you need to learn Spanish, you need to learn Spanish. But nobody is saying, hey, you come over here, you need to learn English.
That's interesting.
And they get English classes for free. You have to pay to learn Spanish.
That's real touchy right there. Wow. And how many years have you been there?
I was born and raised in Miami.
Okay. So why would they do something like that? Why would we want to convert it?
And I won't say it's we. I will say
Well,
people that are coming in from other countries like Cuba and Venezuela. They come in, they buy up a lot of property. Um, they're getting predominantly the jobs. Like if one of them gets in at one department within government or within one agency or whatever, they make sure they bring in everybody with them. Unlike black people, it's like when you ask them in their job hiring, and it's like you ask them for the secret sauce to the patty, that Krabby Patty.
that Krabby Patty. That's a good point. That is a good point that you said that. But here's the thing. Can you get mad at them for that? Because any type of, whether it's Hispanic, whether it's Asian, whether it's whatever, I often wonder why we have a problem. And excuse me if I'm saying we, because it may not be everybody, but you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Because their culture has taught them how to take care of each other.
Yeah,
And then,
and I think ours stems back to slavery where we were okay. There were some of us who worked in the field who were hot and sweaty, and then there were those who were kissing butt to be in the house, the maids, and sometimes the more light skinned people that were considered African American. And we just built this stigma amongst ourselves that we have to only look out for us. Everything is competition with us.
yes, it is.
That master slavery mentality, and other cultures and other people don't have that. So of course they tend to stick together. They tend to encourage each other. Or if I have a house, several family members from another country into that house until they're all able to get their own houses.
And everybody
We
is,
have issues with doing stuff like that.
and
Like
everybody,
somebody has to be in charge. Someone has to let it be known like they're the head of the house. It's theirs. They give that energy, that attitude of, I'm better than again going into the whole competition mode.
mm-hmm. I hear you. I often wonder when I see it. I'm like, wow, that's the key to it. I mean, I've seen it so many times, and I'm just like, I wonder why. And I say we in general because I just
Yeah.
feel that way. Wonder why we just can't get it together. Mm. And we
I
struggle.
wish we could. We never seem to come together on anything, whether it be black on black violence, police on black violence. We don't seem to come together. We always are turning on each other, and that's why I like we can't succeed as a people. Like if one gets success, we don't try and help others along.
Mm.
Like even in entertainment, you'll see actors and actresses who are only on the TV screen, or we only know them because their father was a producer, their father was a director, their father or brother was a writer or another actor. They brought them into the business. But once again, with us, it's like we're not going to introduce you to people that we know. We're not going to introduce you to where you don't have to put in that work. Get it on your own. I got it on my own. You get it on your own.
Mm. I feel you on that one. All right. Well, we just doing these burning questions. We have Misco, Misco. Now, a couple times I messed up your name, and I do apologize. I think I might have done it
What
the
did you
other.
say?
I just don't know why I want to say Misco sometimes. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. But when I
They
was,
sound so similar to me. I answer to both.
I was like,
Some people say Misco. Some people say Misco.
but I was like, I remember you told me last time that it's Misco because,
Like disco.
yeah, disco, Misco, mystical. I got you. So now I want to ask you this question here because I'm
Okay.
just so curious. You find a suggestive text message on your partner's phone, boyfriend, husband, whoever, somebody that you just start talking to, you find something
Mhm.
on their phone. What's the next step?
Um, well, for me, I don't see how I could find anything without them showing it to me because I have never been one of those people to go through anybody's phone.
That was gonna be my.
Like you could leave your phone around me. You don't have to have a password on it. I am not going through your phone. I ain't going through your text messages. I'm not going through your call logs. I'm not going through your pictures. Because I feel like if I have to go looking for something, that means I don't trust you. And if I don't trust you, I don't need to be with you.
That's a good
I don't
point.
need to go look for something to confirm how I'm feeling or try to almost put you in a test that you don't even know that you're being tested. And then if you don't pass, I blame you after I have violated your privacy by going through your things.
I will tell you that I used to always be the one who have to go through the phone, and I always had to be that one. But after going through some issues, I had to grow up and mature a little bit, and I was like, now watch, I'm gonna be put in a situation. I'm gonna be tested, and I was, and I didn't look at anybody's cell phone at all. But those same feelings that I had from the situation before trickled into this situation. But I said, okay, so now this is the test. Now, what's it going to be? Sit still, because you can't really blame somebody or accuse somebody of something if you didn't actually see it. You might have that feeling, but that's for you to, hold your guard and be like, all right, I got this. I know what's going on. But the minute that I held still and didn't say a word, it like poured right on out. So everything was done in darkness will come to light, but you just have
Very
to
much so.
you have to sit still and let him reveal it to you. And man, he revealed it to me in such a slick way. I was like, "Ooh, see," and
And I
I ain't even
love
have
that
to
you
get
say he
crazy.
revealed it to you because
Yeah.
too often we'll have that instinct or what we call that women's intuition that'll tell us something. And I'm not saying deny your women's intuition or deny any feelings that you have that is telling you something. I'm saying don't go looking for stuff.
And I joked a couple nights ago.
You could pray on it and it will be revealed to you.
I
But
joked.
you don't have to go looking for something because then it makes you no better than the person who did whatever they did.
Here's my thing about looking for things, and I joked a couple nights before. I don't do it anymore, but the old me was like, yeah, let me look through it. Let me look through it and let me look like a damn fool, because if ain't nothing on there, you just gonna be sitting back chilling like, I had look, you ain't gonna find nothing. You know, I don't believe that saying, if you go looking for something, you're gonna find it. What is it doing there in the first place? What do you mean if I go looking for something, I'm gonna find it? What is it there in the first place? I should be able to be looking for days, years. You understand what I'm saying? And still don't find anything. And the other person should be just sitting back chilling like, man, get out of here. You can go ahead and be a fool if you want to. You ain't gonna find nothing. But all that huffing and puffing, and you see it all on social media. The dudes be breaking their neck, jumping through glass windows to try to get their phone from, that's craziness.
Yes, the comedy of when they act like the girl has their phone.
Yeah.
Or they come out the shower full of fun.
So
She answered their phone. And it's their pizza. And it's like,
oh yeah, that is so
like,
slick.
if they playing those types of games, it's not even worth your time or your energy.
I can't believe
Going to look for something, it really does something in you when you find it.
Yeah,
so why even take yourself through that? And then not only that, a lot of times with what's her name, Tamar, Miss Braxton.
Yeah.
From Braxton Family Values. She said something, and it stuck with me to this day. She says, "I don't know why women go looking to find out if a man is cheating on them, and they don't intend on leaving."
Well, that's true too.
She said, "Don't kill your peace, and don't kill his peace. Let him cheat in peace." Because all you're gonna do is, she said, all you're gonna do is hurt yourself.
Let him cheat in peace.
She said, let him cheat in peace and keep your peace.
I don't understand how
She
you.
said, if you can't do that, then you need to leave it alone. And I got what you were saying. Because when people go and find out someone has cheated, they don't leave. They don't end the relationship. They take themselves through so much to say, well, why? Well, why did you cheat? And they look for some type of justification. They compare themselves to whoever it was they cheated with.
And you know,
then they start stalking that person. Now you don't allow your life to become consumed with wondering what that person is doing, if they still talking to them, if they still messing with them. And then you take that on, that seed that you festered inside of you, you take it on to your next relationship.
I can understand where you're coming from, but I got my comments that I'll just keep to myself a little bit. I mean, if you ain't gonna leave, if you ain't gonna leave, now I'm not gonna do this because I don't. That's not me. But if you're not gonna leave, you better make sure that you're getting something out of it too. And that's just all I'm saying. Like you ain't gonna be just sitting there being foolish, comparing yourself to this person, comparing yourself to that person, and taking yourself through the pain, and you ain't getting nothing out of it either. Some people don't leave because of the situation that we were talking about earlier, financial situations like that. You know,
yes.
All right, that's cool. I'm in this situation, I'm stuck, but I ain't stupid. So I know that you out there running around and you doing this and you doing that, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to level myself up too because maybe I'll find somebody that's better than you that'll take me up out of this situation. I'm not saying that I gotta be out there, cheating and having sex with this one and that one, but you know, what if you find somebody that's your friend and you share your story and him or her be like, you deserve better than that. How many times have we seen that? And then they actually end up taking you out of that situation.
No, I definitely agree. By no means am I saying that someone has to stay with someone who's cheating on them. Like we were saying earlier, a lot of people stay in some of the scenarios or situationships,
That's
as they
exactly
call
what it
them,
is. Yep.
because they feel like they have no choice. There's kids involved, so they stay. There is financial issues involved where one can't cover the rent or the mortgage by themselves. So they just stick things out and they in a house where they sleep in a separate room. And for me, that's not living, that's existing because they have no peace. They're walking around on eggshells. They both can't stand each other. He doing him. She posting about how she gonna do her. She posting about how she deserves better. The angry woman, the bitter woman syndrome of where they get on social media and they just like, oh, all men are dogs and I deserve better. And it's a year later and you're still dealing with the same dude. Now you have turned yourself into a victim. And by turning yourself into a victim, now you're going to walk around with this mentality of victim mentality. So everything that happens around you is now happening to you. Everybody's doing something to you and you act like you have no control in your life. You have no accountability in your life for anything.
Yeah, that's another thing too. That, we have to get to a realization. If you are still walking around blaming somebody else for your unhappiness, that's the problem. And I know it's easier said than done because it takes a long time for us to realize that some of the situation is she talking to you? No, I mean the younger me maybe, but I know better now. I used to be just like that. Oh, you did this to me. You did that to me. I talked about that the other night. And I'm so thankful that I, have my mind together now where I know, hell no. Like I decided to stay there. I decided to put up with all of the BS, with all of the nonsense, all of the stuff that you just talked about. I've been down there one way or the other. And I took the bullshit from one situation and rolled it into the next. And rolled it into the next and rolled it into the next. So, but all of that was my fault. Because the minute that you notice something ain't right, you can leave. You know, sometimes we
Yep.
stay because, like my girl MJB, because the sex was
Come
good.
on
The
now.
sex was good. You had my mind, and I let you come back every time, and you would violate and cross the line. And you knew that I would always be the type to wait so patiently. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then that's why people do shit to you because they know that you're weak and your mind is
Yep.
not right, and they got you right where
Mhm.
they want you. My friend from the Bronx, shout out to Eugenia. She always tells me when you meet somebody, it's cool. I know you're gonna do what you had to do, but stay out of the bedroom because when you start doing that in the beginning, that distorts your mind, and
Very much so.
you be doing some
And
things you don't even know.
very much so. And usually when you meet somebody, it's, I would say, within the first 6 months,
Hmm.
you haven't met them yet. You've met their representative.
Oh yeah, and then it be real on and popping from day one.
Everything about them perfect.
Yeah.
Slowly, within the 5th or 6th month, little traits start to stick out because you can only portray something that you're not for so long.
That's about right. That is so about right.
But by that time, you don't invest it, but you invested your emotions without actually getting to know the person. And then you put yourself back into that cycle of, oh, but I love them, I could change them. And unless you got magical powers, you can't change nobody. The only thing you could do is decide how you're going to handle and deal with that person, or if you're going to deal with them, but you can't change them.
No, and I'm gonna tell you because I tried to be like that magic, what do you call it? That magician, always trying to change people. Only person you can change is yourself. And you think that you changed them. This is one thing that I've learned. I have experienced it 3 times already in relationships. They'll do it because they might like a little bit of something about you. They might like, what you can offer them, what you can give them, whether it be your time, whether it be your energy, whether it be your money, whether it be your status, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
Something about you that they like and that they want and that they don't want to lose. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this to make them think that I got it on point. And at one point, they might actually be like, I think I could be a changed person and try to do it. But it's not because they wanted to do it, it's because of the fact that they thought that they were going to lose you, so that they had to go and change it to try to appease you. It wasn't because I had good intentions and I want to do this because I want to show and prove that this is the situation here. It's like, no, damn, I want to do this, but I don't want to do it. I'm stuck in a rock and a hard place. I want to do the right thing, but I don't want to do the right thing. But what do I do? So they go along and they play along with it. But then after a while, they realize that if they were not ready to make that change, you kind of forced them a little bit because you were going to close the door.
Right.
After a while, they start to say, excuse my language, but man, fuck this shit. I'm going to go back to doing what I was doing. And then
Yep.
usually that's when you find out that they were cheating, they're messing with somebody else, or this one has a spending habit and, they're racking up credit card bills behind your back, all kinds of dumb shit. They have to be the one to change. Like, I want to change for
Yep.
this person because I want to show them that I could be the person, not because you threatened them and pushed them in a corner and say, you better do this because of that. Three
Yeah,
times,
those ultimatums don't work.
3 times in my life, I'm telling you, I've experienced stuff like that. Board Troll says maybe they have an imagined self image that has been constructed through media consumption. Could be. Do people devour other do people devour others to feed their ego? Absolutely. I would agree with that.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you have some, and I'll speak on men since I'm a female. You have some men that look for women that are weak.
Oh yeah.
And I
That's
don't mean like physically weak, I mean mentally and
oh yeah.
emotionally weak.
That
They look for women that are vulnerable.
that's in any situation. Men, women, Yeah, I agree with that too, all the way around. Because then they're able to get away with it. They're able to get
Yep.
away and do what they want to do. Mm. This was
Because
some.
abuse doesn't always have to be physical, and people fail to realize that.
Say it again.
I say abuse doesn't always have to be physical. People fail to realize that people go through years of emotional and spiritual abuse in relationships, and they never get help or healing from it. They only feel like they have to get help and healing from physical abuse.
Mm. Talk to me, bro. I know we're up against the clock here, but I heard you say spiritual abuse. Explain that to me. Did I lose you? You still there?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, I said I heard you say something about spiritual abuse. Explain a little bit of that to me.
Hmm. So spiritual abuse, I will use what's that guy's name? Oh my god. I know it's Jackson. Do you know who I'm speaking about?
No.
Well, there was this guy he's all over YouTube, he's all over Instagram, and he's always giving women advice on things to look for in a man and how to handle men and deal with men. And all along for years, he had been doing all these seminars and paid gigs, and come to find out he was married. He was having several different relationships with several different women in several different cities.
That's terrible.
And
okay, now
when they did an interview with him and his wife, you can see that she was very submissive, and she was staying with him because of spiritual reasons.
Okay.
You know, he was using the Bible to manipulate her, and that's when I say spiritual. Are saying that, oh, like we're going to pray together, and we prayed together, and I'm going to change because we prayed together, but I have no intentions of changing. I just said that I use God, or I use your spirituality or your religion to play on your emotions and how you feel.
I got you. Okay. That's deep. That's real deep.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna say anything on it. I'm just thinking of the aftermath. Once everything gets caught up, once that person has to, meet the maker after dealing with that nonsense, man, that's crazy. But there's a lot of people out there.
I think that's worse than physical or emotional abuse, because that is something that when you play with someone's spirituality or their religion, or you use God to hold someone in bondage.
Think about people who are married.
They question God, they question their prayers, they question everything.
People who are married and they try their best to stick it out because they try to do the right thing. And like you said, their husband or their wives, and ladies, it happens too, where they just can't be with one person. They can't be with their husband. So they're running around cheating, and he's at home praying and trying to make it work and keep his marriage together. That's rough.
Right.
Rough.
Can you imagine like someone going through 10 years of being cheated on, and oh, he done had a baby on me with this person, or vice versa if it was a female, and they're holding on because like, oh, I don't wanna fail God.
Yeah.
I don't want to get a divorce because divorce is a sin. Like those type of manipulations that people use.
Well, we took it there tonight. Board Troll says, I think when you see abuse, people, they almost seem high from their elevated state over the recipient. Maybe they're abusing an aspect of their self when they achieve a dominant stance over the subject. I absolutely, yeah. They're just basically projecting all their ugly onto the other person. They don't love themselves. That's exactly why that situation is happening. Everything that they say, everything they do, and this is coming from my friend, she used to tell me, don't worry, because everything that they say and everything that they do, that's how they feel about themselves, and that's how they feel about their mother or father.
Very much so. And that's why they tell you, like, they say when you getting married, you should marry someone who's your best friend and that you're equally yoked with. A lot of times people fail to realize even when you get into a relationship and it starts off as a friendship, you have to make sure that you pay attention to that person's insecurities. You pay attention to that person's flaws. Because a lot of times their insecurity, their flaws, their negative traits, you have that within you. That's why you were able to recognize it in them. So when they manipulate people and they play off of their emotions, they play off of their spirituality or their religion, they're able to do that because they tapped into something in you that they already had within them that was broken.
That's deep. I'm going to have to sit on that one. I have to think about that one because of the shit that happened to me. That was not in me. You ain't seen none of that shit in me. But I'm going to have to sit on that one for a minute. But yeah, this is some real.
There's a lot of things that we have within us, but we don't actually bring it to the light or we don't act on it. So we're okay with it because we don't act on it. Like, you know how they say there's what do they call them? Pedophiles. Men who look at younger girls that are underage. There's lots of men who have done that. The difference is there's people who act on it. The same thing is there are females who are pedophiles and look at younger boys. The difference is there are people who act on it. It's the acting on it that has caused you to get in trouble. There's the acting on it that caused you to have to face legal consequences or criminal consequences. We all have some unpure thoughts in our mind. It's the difference of when you act on it. Like our mama used to always say to us, don't say everything you thinking.
That is true. That is so true. Wow. This has been a good conversation. I thank you so much for coming through. But it's time for us to get on up out of here. What's going on, Tide and Natural? Thank you for joining. So at this point, let everyone know where they can follow you at. I know you got a lot of different things going on. So just let us know as we prepare.
My business page is Slay Glam Life, and that's SLAYGLAM Life. That's on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And then my personal page would be Misco, and Misco is spelled MISCO, so like disco, but with the M.
Very good.
It's my first name twice. That will be on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok.
That's right. Do it up.
And then, of course, if you follow either of those pages, there will be a link tree on all of my pages that shares you all of my platforms.
That's what's up. Anything you want to leave us with before we sign off of here?
Being that this is my last episode with you before the year ends, I will say love yourselves, pour into yourselves. Go ahead and start setting goals for 2020. And in setting those goals, also make sure you're writing out an outline of steps on how you're going to implement and accomplish those goals. Don't give up on yourself because we put so much energy and love into everyone else. It's time for us to ourselves. Be selfish a little in 2020. Get all about you, and then, you have time for others. And I hope everyone has a blessed night.
I feel you on that. I feel you. Thank you so much, and hopefully we'll be talking again in 2022.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Take care. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Bye. Well, there y'all have it. That was an awesome session with Misco. I want to say thank you all so much for joining tonight. People out there on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, DLive, Twitch. What's going on, Remy? What's going on, Mel? How are you? I seen you out there on TikTok. All right, so if you'd like to support the 401 podcast and Reading Between the Wines, a couple things you can do. First, you can text the keyword remix to 609-738-0611. Again, that's 609-738-0611, and you will get a pre-order link for my new book, My Inspirations Volume 1.5, The Liberation Remix Journal, a 30-day transformational journey towards a healthier mindset. That's one way. You can also click that link above all of my social media platforms. And again, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, D Live, Twitch. And you can go inside of Karma's Paradise exclusive and you can get an autographed copy of my new book. You can get an ebook of my first book. You can also get a poster and an exclusive Karma's Paradise t shirt that was crafted by K. Cole herself for me. So that's one way you can go ahead and get it as well. The book releases next month. It's actually going to be a couple weeks. Can't believe it, but January 3rd, so 2022. So if you'd like to get your hands on it before then, you can do one of those two things. Text remix to 609-738-0611, or you can go ahead and click that link and go inside of Karma's Paradise exclusive. Also, so this weekend it's gonna be crazy. So I have two more virtual book signings coming up. I have one with Shop Glam and Bougie. That's Glam and Bougie. If you like to check my girl Brenda out, she's on Instagram and that's Shop Glam and Bougie. And then also we have Neek who was out there tonight with Coral LLC. So Saturday, Shop Glam and Bougie. Sunday, Coral LLC. Virtual book signings this weekend is going to be crazy, off the chain. Everything is amazing. I can't even wait for y'all to see what these wonderful businesses have coming up, and I'm just so thankful that they, wanted to partner with me on this. So we just getting ready for 2022, which is going to be out of control, crazy. But again, I just want to say thank you so much because without everybody out there supporting and bringing it, I wouldn't still be here. And with that being said, I have to thank my executive producer, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for allowing me to come out here and give y'all the 4-in-1 podcast one more time in life. Because without him, none of this will be possible and I wouldn't even be here. So I'm just so thankful. And I just have to say thank you to each and every one of you out there for rocking with me after all of this time. And I'll see y'all tomorrow, 10 o'clock, right here, 4-in-1 podcast. Thank you so much. What's going on, Queenly Behavior? How are you doing? Thank you for joining. Yes, I'm so excited, Neek. Thank you so much to Misco. Y'all check her out. Slay Glam Life. Thank you, Board Troll. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining as well. I appreciate you for coming through, representing the D Live family. Go ahead and tag your friends if you can so we can get some more people up in here. That'd be great. And I want to make sure I got this right. You got to excuse me, but I'm going to just call you Shauna. Probably got it wrong. I'm going to call you Shauna out there on TikTok. Thank you for joining as well. All right, y'all. See you right here tomorrow, 10 p.m. 4-in-1 podcast. Thank you so much. Take care, y'all. Good night. Good night. Ooh, I see custom embroidery. What's up, SNS Custom Embroidery? Thank you for joining as well. I appreciate you. Good night, y'all. Good night. Good night. Good night. Thank you.